Assalamu alaikum everybody, my name is Adin Ahmed. In this video, I'm going to tell you about why Queen Elizabeth II was not the direct heir to the throne. It is because her father, King George VI, was also not the direct heir to the throne. It was her uncle, King Edward, who was destined to be the king, but he left his throne. Why? For someone who is third or fourth to the line of throne and then become queen is a rare occurrence in the monarchy history. Our story starts long ago in 1986 when a crisis arose in England when King Edward abandoned the throne and the people reacted so badly they didn't like it at all. So who was King Edward and why did he give up the throne and why did people got so mad about it? King George V, the grandfather of Queen Elizabeth, had two sons. The eldest son was Prince Edward, who was the crown prince, meaning he was the heir to the throne, and the second son was George VI, who was the father of Queen Elizabeth. Here you can understand why the public reacted this way, because Edward had been trained for the role of a king and lived a life of luxury with the taxpayers' money. And abdication meant all the hard work of the people was going to waste. He had been raised as the heir to the throne for 40 years, so everybody has spent a lot of time investing their emotions and identity in him. That made him so popular. In fact, he was so popular he got the celebrity status in the world. And his decision of abdication was not received well by the government. It was considered a grave breach of constitution because he was a king with responsibility back then. His country was on the verge of war and they were not doing financially well. Yes, another war was looming in Europe. Despite its victory in World War I, the British Empire had suffered a great economic setback and it was the worst time to abdicate. Prince George VI, Elizabeth's father, was very shy and had a bad stomach, and he wanted to be away from the public eye all his life. But why did Prince Edward give up being king? Because he wanted to marry Wallies Simpson. But it was said that Wallies Simpson was not a suitable match for Prince Edward because of Simpson's two failed marriages. Back then, the King of England was also the head of the church, and the Church of England did not allow any divorced people to remarry in church if their spouses were still alive. But he wanted to marry her, so he decided to abdicate, which meant he officially gave up being king. So Edward was no longer king, which meant George, Elizabeth's father, had to be the king. The British people, the Church of England, and the government condemned the decision of abdication despite a widespread unwillingness to accept Simpson as queen. He refused to give her up and married her, but no member of the royal family attended the wedding. Also, many people said that Edward was a Nazi sympathizer, and some people went to such an extent that they called him a traitor king. Why were people assuming that King Edward was a Nazi sympathizer? It is because when King Edward visited Nazi Germany in 1937, he was very influenced by Nazism, and there were even reports that Prince Edward had made dealings with the Nazis during World War II as the Duke of Windsor. I hope you liked the video and I hope you found it entertaining and resourceful.